scratch the surface with what I'm gonna talk about today. It's something that we're gonna talk about here in the future. It's I might change the name, but right now it'll be the love of money, the love of music, the love of mixed drink, and the love of me. The love of money, music, mixed drink, and me. And wanted to uh, eventually spend a lot of time with this, but if you think about the things that keep us from the presence of God or growing with God, or actually when we were rolling with God and all of a sudden we got distracted, maybe a little bit of fame or, you know, all of a sudden we've blown up in a particular area of our life. A lot of times it's those areas. It's either money. We change our love from God to loving money. We change our love from God to loving music. We change our love from God to loving mixed drink. And of course, you know what I'm talking about. Whether it's wine, alcohol, or what have you. And of course, me, and that would include we change our love from loving God to loving me in terms of lust and some of the pleasures that we allow ourselves to get distracted with. And we just lose sight of God and power and peace. And we almost start to, we not almost, we settle for a life of chaos, which was a good guy talk yesterday. It was good, which some of that stuff I'm going to share in the 10:30 service. But let's just spend some time with the love of money. let's, let's spend some time with that. It's always an interesting topic in the chat. I was talking to somebody. Who was I talking to? Oh, I was talking to my nephew. I think I told y'all last week. And my nephew lives in Las Vegas. And he's about 20. Is he 22, 20? I don't know how old he is now. He might be late 20s. But he was, we started talking, and he was like, well, the Bible don't say nothing about money or, I mean, he was just tripping. And he wasn't tripping like in an evil, negative way. He just was hyped. He's just hyped because he's been into this conspiracy stuff. So he was like, the Bible don't say nothing about money. So I said, if I showed you a ton of scriptures, the Bible said money, would you be quiet? And so him knowing me, he just said, all right, let's just keep on going with the conversation because he knew I wouldn't have said that if I didn't have some scriptures. But there are scriptures, and we may get into some of them, we may not. But let's start here with what's it? It's Timothy? First Timothy? I think it's First Timothy 6. It's First Timothy 6, verse 10. Well, we at least know money is mentioned in this scripture, right? It says, for the love of money is the root of all evil, which while some coveted after, they have erred. Or another word or interpretation of the word erred is reeled from the faith and pierced themselves through with many sorrows. So think about what we're talking about. I said, the love of money, the love of music, the love of mixed drink, and the love of me that pulls us and distracts us and pull us away from God. Well, this scripture right here says it pretty much explains what we're talking about. Look, it says the love of money. It didn't say money because money itself is neutral. If you throw a $10 bill and you put it on that floor, it's just a $10 bill on the floor. But the person that picks up that $10 bill, what they decide to do with that $10 bill will determine the effect that $10 bill has on a person's life, whether it's negative or positive. So here the scripture is saying the love of money is the root of all evil. It didn't say money is the root of all evil, that the love of money. And see, so now when we think about even that statement, the love of money, and we think about, I'm in love with my wife, I love my family, I love you guys. When you love someone, John 15:13 says this, no greater love than this than a man has for his friend. He'll lay down his life for his friend. So let's say your dad tells you he loves you. Okay, so if he loves you, then he's laying down his life, his comfort, and what's important to him to make sure you guys get what's important to you. So he's putting you anyway. Like he's like, but he's He's putting you before maybe some things that may be important to him. So when we say, when the scripture says the love of money is the root of all evil, to love money, then there's something that you're not loving. You're saying, you're sacrificing everything for money. There's probably a better way of doing this but I want to really spend some time. Let me explain this scripture, then I'll go to Luke 16. Luke 16 to give us a better way of explaining the love of money angle. But let's go here. It says, the love of money is the root of all evil. So at the foundation of all evil is a love for money. It says, which some coveted after. So, and that's when it says love money, it's talking about coveted. Covetousness is different from covenant. Covetous is I'm trying to hoard. It's all about it's greed. I got to have it. It's all for me. It's all about for me. And I can never have enough. But to operate in a level of covenant, see, a covenant is an exchange. See, it's I'm trying to really pretty much everything that I gain is to benefit you, and everything you gain is to benefit me. At least that's how our covenant works. My wife just walked in, so I could use her. See how the timing? I was talking about covenant, and see how she came in? Throwing in the gifts over there. All right. So it says, and they have erred from the face. Anytime you see err, is think of a fishing rod with a reel. So the word err says they reeled from the faith. So you know how like if a fish bites and it just might be bigger than you think. You might think you got a little guppy, you got a whale or something, and it starts to reel. It's just zzz, almost out of control, and you're trying to gain control because it's going out of control. It's pretty much trying to pull you in the water. Well, what it's saying is when you love money and you start to get pulled by money, it's almost like grabbing a whale, trying to reel in a whale. It's pulling you. It's dragging you. So that's when you say err. When you see error, it's talking about reeled. It says, look, from the faith. It says, and then it says, they have pierced themselves through with many sorrows. Because of what it takes to love money. Money is not designed to facilitate the return for your love. So all money can give you in exchange is many sorrows. That's the tough part. So when you love money, money is not designed to fulfill you. Money is not designed to return that exchange for you investing your life in it. It can only give you many sorrows if you love it. Now, if you use it, that's different. So if money is serving you, that's different. But if you're serving money to a point where you're loving it, obsessing over it, you can't, like when you meet the person you like, you're talking to them at 3, 4 in the morning, and you through the course of the day, on your lunch breaks and all types of stuff. Well, that's how it is. You just thinking about money. Oh, when I get rich, oh, when I do that. You constantly focus on money, you'll get pierced through with many sorrows. And that's the dangerous thing about loving money. And then let me give you 17, and then we'll go to Luke 16. Verse 17, it says, charge them that are rich in this world that they be not high-minded, nor trust in uncertain riches, but in the living God who giveth us richly all things to enjoy. So it says, it's almost assuming you'll have riches. But it says, don't be high-minded. Don't get arrogant and get confident in the riches. Don't put your rest and your security and your significance and your value in the riches. It says high-minded. Don't elevate your presence and your status above God. It says, look, it says don't trust in the riches. See, so in other words, you trust in God, you get riches. We trust in God, we get riches. Deuteronomy 8, we may go through the scripture, but it says, I've given you the power to get wealth. So because I've trusted in God, riches come to me. because God gives me richly all things to enjoy. When the riches come to me, I'm not supposed to trust in them. I'm supposed to maintain my trust in God. If I start to trust in the riches when they come to me, I'm tempted to get high-minded, right? And forget the God that gave me these things. All right, so let's go to Luke 16. Luke 16, verse 10, it says, "He that is faithful in that which is least is faithful also in the much. And he that is unjust in the least is unjust also in the much." It says, "If therefore you have not been faithful in the unrighteous mammon," when it says unrighteous mammon in that scripture, it's referring to money. When that scripture, the scripture in 11 where it says is referring to money or wealth. It says, so we can read it as, "If therefore you have not been faithful in the unrighteous wealth, who will commit to you the true riches?" It says, "If you have not been faithful in that which is another man's, who shall give you that which is your own?" And then verse 13, "No servant can serve two masters, for either he will hate the one and love the other, or else he will hold to the one and despise the other. You cannot serve God and mammon, or wealth, or money, or riches." You can't serve both. So if you try to look at it as, you could look at it, maybe use your imagination and think of an hourglass or something to that effect. So look at, or a pendulum. So on the top, or top we have God. In the middle we have us. And underneath we have wealth, riches, or money. So as we serve God, money, wealth, and riches serves us. If you flip it and we start serving money, wealth, and riches, then we're telling God to serve us? Something's wrong with that, right? That's why, look, the scripture says you can't serve two masters. You can't serve money, you can't serve God. So again, if you put God above you, you in the middle, and money underneath you, then as you serve God, money serves you. But if you flip the pendulum, if you're serving money, you're telling God to serve you. So money should be serving us as we serve God. It shouldn't be we're serving money as God serves us. That will be off. That's why it's dangerous when you go back to the scripture in 1 Timothy 6:10 when it says the love of money is the root of all evil, because once you start loving money, then you're serving it. You know, think about it. We love God, so we serve him, right? It's not rocket science. You know, I love God, so I serve him. You know, we love our family. I love my wife, so I serve her. We love y'all, so we serve you. So if we love money, we're going to do what? Come on, y'all heard what I just, you're going to do what? Ain't nobody want to say that, right? So and every time you start to serve something above God, you're telling God to serve you. God always should be served first. All right, so Haggai chapter 1. This is a very interesting chapter. You might want to meditate on when you have time. But in the second year of Darius, the king, in the 6th month and the first day of the month, came the word of the Lord by Haggai the prophet to Zerubbabel, the son of Shealtiel. Interesting name. Governor of Judah, and to Joshua, the son of Josadak, the high priest, saying, "Thus speaketh the Lord of hosts, saying, the people say, the time is come." Oh, no, the people say, the time is not come, the time that the Lord's house should be built. The time that the Lord's house should be built. It says, then came the word of the Lord by Haggai the prophet, saying, it is time for you, O ye, to dwell in your... No, is it time for you, O ye, to dwell in your sealed houses, and this house lie in waste? So he's talking about God's houses lying in waste, but you chilling in your sealed houses. It says, now therefore, thus saith the Lord of hosts, consider your ways. You have so much and bring in little. So he's saying, look at your life.